I was once asked in Thailand how much a man has to pay my parents if they want to marry me. I almost punched the person who asked me that question. Let me just clarify that the person who was asking me wasn't trying to marry me. We were actually, as odd as it may sound, we were actually having an educated discussion. We were talking about culture and the dynamics of family, roles of different genders and stuff like that. And of course, bride price is a huge part of many places in Thailand. And so he asked that question as an exercise in our discussion. But just to hear somebody trying to put a price on you, it was really, really hard to hear. But it also was a very important moment because I realized one thing, but also a very important question sort of sparked in my head. The realization is that somebody else's culture doesn't need to make sense to me. It is not my culture. They are the ones that are practicing it, but I do need to respect it. But the question is, but where do I draw the line? What if I feel like somebody else's culture is a violation of basic human rights? Okay, so just a clarification, a dowry is different from a bride price. A dowry is the money that the woman's family brings into the marriage. So it's not necessarily paid to the man, it's actually paid to the couple. The bride price is the wealth that the man is giving to the family of the woman. One of the most popular stories of a dowry actually happened in China. Wu Raobing or something like that. I don't know how to pronounce his name quite honestly, but he manufactures kitchen furniture and tiles, and he's a billionaire. And then his daughter got married in 2012, and he gave his daughter 156 million worth of dowry. So he gave the couple 156 million worth of dowry. So that includes cash, cars, gold, and shares in his company. Now, many people felt that it was just publicity. Many people also criticized them for still practicing that tradition, but also it sparked and inspired a lot of discussion. So one of the clarifications made, especially when it comes to bride price, because as you know, there's a huge amount of discussion happening about the value of a woman, the rights of a woman. So the critics are saying that you're putting a monetary value to a woman, but many cultures that are still observing either a dowry or bride price, but specifically a bride price, are sort of clarifying that you're not buying the woman. It is, number one, in traditional society, not necessarily just Asia, but in traditional society, the man is supposed to be the provider. So that is an act, the ultimate proof the man is putting forward to prove that he deserves to marry the woman, because he can give you such gifts, he can give this much gift to the family. That means he can provide for the woman. The other is sort of a thank you for raising the woman that he is now about to marry and is about to build a family with. Now, I just want to clarify that there are, in any part of Asia, many places don't observe it anymore, but there are still some places that observe it. But there is also no denying to the fact that in many cultures, it was a way for families to be compensated for raising a girl, because women are supposed to be less important because they get taken away from the family, so they don't really get anything in return, so to speak. So there's also that dynamics. So we need to accept that just, in the olden times, that's just how it is. When you have a daughter, it's for, a quote unquote a liability, because she's not going to help the family build their wealth and whatever. They will be taken away by a man, and so the dowry becomes a compensation. That there are some societies that look at the bride price that way. I do have to admit that this is not something I would want for my nieces and my nephews. I don't want my nieces to pay the dowry, and I don't want my nephews to pay a bride price. And I have come to accept that in itself is a prejudice. The mere fact that I don't want it for myself or for the people that I love, that is a prejudice in itself. But I have a lot of friends who observe this. I know a lot of people who observe this, and some of them are actually my friends. And I couldn't wrap my head around that. Like, I couldn't rationalize, because I don't want to ever have a prejudice. I don't want to, I don't want to say that I have a prejudice against something. And so one of them, that's why I'm sort of struggling in my head. And one of them explained it to me this way. In our group of friends, actually, that group that we had different faith. We believe in different things. We have different religions. There's a Muslim there, Protestant, Christian, Buddhist. And to all of us, our faith is a huge part of who we are. To some of us, that's like the foundation of their life. Their faith is a foundation of their life. But when we are with each other, there's just as much love for each other as we have for other people with the same faith. The point is that you neither have to understand nor agree with somebody else's culture or belief. You just need to respect. And you need to love. And love includes respecting other people's belief. Love means not looking down on them just because they don't share the same belief, the same principle as you do. So for those of you who don't understand this part of Asian culture, you do not have to understand. You just need to respect it, and you just need to love as many people as you can.